I'm here. So
I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
Howdy, Oklahoma.
My name is Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
Dead gum.
I'm Josh Giddey, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
Is that like you eat them together?
everybody tells him to get the bag of burgers.
I need like a straw. Like
Howdy. I'm an artist on the court.
this is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
My name is Kenrich Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
It might be Aaron Wiggins.
This is a troll. It's a troll. I'm trolling.
Howdy, Papa.
Because I think it would take away from who he is, you know? Yeah.
I love Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma to death.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Perfect.
Good.
Very good.
I like the hat.
You like the hat?
Vava.
This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk. I've been doing a lot of dunking.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schleck. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me this morning, I've got Taylor. And Jay.
It's Jay. Am I muted? I can't hear myself.
You can't hear yourself at all?
No.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Can you hear me on the top? Check.
Mic check. There I am. What's up? It's Jay. Man, just riding high.
Right.
So many wins for the podcast this week. Number one.
We might have to do the intro again.
Should we?
Yeah. Just like live here on YouTube. This is for the podcast. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, just know
You get
this
doubled.
this is behind the scenes. So here we go.
That's how the sausage is made.
There's gonna be some sausage here.
Oh, there's a lot of meat.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schleck. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me, I've got Taylor.
You're simply the best.
The Steph.
Better than all the rest.
And Jay.
It's Jay.
Guys,
Multiple wins this week for the Thunder.
multiple.
And by that I
wins.
mean on Tuesday night. The most fun.
So much fun.
Two have been had. Down to dunk Thunder night. Like 200 some odd dunkers. Great service at Spark. Somehow Spark fed us quicker than the Jones Assembly. Less people to be fair, but
And we can say that because they're a part of the same
it's
company.
part of the same group. And then went over and watched just an absolute beatdown of a game.
Just destroyed them.
The most comfortable seats I've ever been in.
That was one of the most fun games to be at.
Yes.
It was great.
And man, I know we've said this multiple times, but a huge shout out and appreciation from us to all of you who listen to the pod, who are able to be there.
Yeah.
Those of you who wish you were there, and those of you that just hate listen, all of you all, we are so grateful for your commitment to the pod. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Your work.
We're like literally humbled. And people like when you see us, and I hope nobody ever, this is always what it goes in my head where I'm like, I hope nobody ever thinks that we didn't talk to them or say hi to them. It's really just because we don't know what to do and we feel awkward. So come and talk to us.
I feel like
We did a pretty good
I
job.
feel like that was better.
I was proud of you, Andrew. I watched you a lot. You work the room at Spark.
Trying to, man. It's not my natural.
It is not your natural thing, but you did it. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank
And then
you.
Taylor, did you show up?
I was there.
It was good. It's good to see you too. You were in a
See you.
good mood, man.
I was in
Dancing
a great
around.
mood. I'm actually still like in a social hangover today from Tuesday because I was like going for
You
it.
were out there.
Yeah, it was great. It was so much fun. But Jay, you're right. Like if you're expecting us to like come up to you and stuff, I feel so uncomfortable.
Well, we just don't want to assume like
Exactly.
Hey,
Hey,
everybody
want to
here
talk
is
to us.
for the
Yes.
podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Because there are probably
There's no way to differ unless you're wearing a down to dunk shirt. It's like
Yeah,
those
yeah.
games.
the
it's
people
kinda-
that had down to dunk shirts, I definitely like said what's up to them.
Yep. Anyway, man, it was awesome. Met some great people. And
Question from the chat: who came the furthest to the game? There was somebody from LA that came.
Yep.
There was somebody from Iowa.
I mean, Alex.
Alex came pretty far from Portland.
We're trying to get McKellar next year.
McKellar
We
would
have to
be
do a
the furthest
GoFundMe.
by far. Yeah. So it was amazing. I'm just so thankful for, I mean, just the opportunity to do this is crazy. That we get to be a part of people's like Thunder fandom is just unbelievable. And it's something that we, I don't know. I really cherish it. I'm really thankful.
And I also really want to remember names.
Yeah.
I try.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, just to let you know.
Yep.
Just trying my best because I want you to know how much we value you. Like
Yep.
this isn't something we take for granted. It's literally every time. It's incredible. We got the picture yesterday, and just to see all the people that were there was awesome.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Something else that's overwhelming is the way the Thunder played against the Warriors last night, especially in the fourth quarter and in the first half, and not the third quarter.
There was
At
like
parts.
half of the second quarter and half the
The
third quarter.
It was like, oh my gosh, is this the Pelicans game? Like, did I actually turn on the Pelicans game?
But what was the difference?
Honestly, the difference was like the bench was awesome.
Awesome.
Kenrich Williams was great. I thought Vava was so good.
Isaiah Joe was amazing.
Isaiah Joe was obviously like the most amazing thing about the game. 7 of 7 from 3. Almost didn't have the perfect game, but did get fouled on a 3
and missed one free throw.
He missed a free throw. Almost had like the perfect
You
game.
know that they're giving him so much grief
Get
for
back in
missing
the-
that one.
Oh,
free
it's
throw.
so good.
Get in the
It's so
gym,
good.
Isaiah.
Dude, it was watching this offense. There was the slog of the second quarter, half the second quarter, half the third quarter.
Yeah.
Shea was missing things that he wasn't missing most of the rest of the game. They just got real ugly for a while. But to watch the way they pulled back away, but also the way they set the standard. I think the Warriors went up 5-0 before the Thunder kind of started scoring and going forward. And I don't know. They moved the ball so beautifully last night.
Yeah, they did.
And it's like the actual, and I know Draymond wasn't there. He's the blah, 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 blah. Steph Curry wasn't there. He's hurt. I get all of those things. But
They also lost to the Kings last Friday without De'Aaron Fox. And the Kings have been so bad without De'Aaron. So
except for when they beat the Thunder and the Warriors.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like
But
like
the point I was trying to make was like the actualized version of the way this team wants to play, you got to see for a vast majority of the game last night.
Yeah.
At almost the entire game, every person on the floor can dribble, take the ball to the court, pass, and finish from all areas of the court. Giddey he's stacking up some games.
Yeah, he is.
We're back to back.
Yeah.
He was awesome against
He
the
was
Spurs.
great at attacking. He was great in the Spurs game, and he was great at attacking yesterday and finishing at the rim with contact.
He also had one of his filthiest moves I can remember at about 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Corey Joseph, and
Poor Corey Joseph.
It wasn't even a cross. It was just like a hesitation move, and it got Corey nailed to the floor, and then Giddey scored. It was incredible. And so, I don't know. He was awesome. He's attacking. He's also, what was he, 3 of 3 from the 3-point line last night, which is unreal to see him shoot with such consistency since he's been so bad from the 3-point line. And then it's everybody. Voss was great. Case and Wallace, he is so stinking good. The play where he wrestled the ball away from Moses Moody.
Yeah.
The alley-oop that he threw to Shea, which if you rewatch that play, it's like perfect fast break offense.
Oh my god.
It's like 3 passes down the floor, alley-oop, Shea. And then Kaysen's got this little grin on his face as he's walking up the court. I don't know, man.
I downloaded his passing clips last night and put them on Twitter because I was blown away just from the passing from him last night. Was just like, wow, like he's just so smart.
And to gain the I don't know, trust that he has from Mark.
Oh, it's
12 games into his career.
Yeah, instantly. I mean, he's so smart. He understands how to play multiple positions. I mean, the oop to Shea, which is something like, I don't know if I've ever seen an alley oop to Shea, before.
Yeah, that's true. Who would throw one to
Shay afterwards was like, yeah, that's a new thing for all of us.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
that
what he
scene
said.
from Semi-Pro where they're just like, what was this?
What was this? Yeah, it was definitely just like that. He is such a good player. He's a rookie. And I tweeted this last night. Like, I don't even know if he deserves to have the rookie moniker. Like, he doesn't play like it at all. And eventually, maybe he will. But I don't know. Like, this feels like another like J-Dub situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be as good of a scorer as J-Dub is altogether. But the fact that he's like this good of a connector already off the bench, where you don't feel bad about having him in the game ever. I mean, you look at the guys that played off the bench, big minutes. Kendrick Williams, obviously, like you trust him. Isaiah Joe has become such a good player.
All around. Way more than just the 3-point shooter.
He's awesome.
Works
And
hard
then
on defense.
Wiggs, we trust Wiggs. He played 11 minutes last night. Vava, how do you feel about Vava?
Awesome.
I thought he was good last night.
Yeah.
He does some things where it's like at the end of the half where he took the ball and tried to shoot the last shot, which I think Shay was like, you can either give it back to me or just go do something. Like, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
And he gets blocked like right at the free throw line as he's going in. He does some things where he's like, you can tell he's still not fully ready for the NBA game.
Yeah, athletically, he's
But
not.
Gosh,
ready.
the way you just know when he has the ball that he is working for the best move.
Yeah.
And he made a couple passes last night that you were, it was the pick and roll. It was probably the best pick and roll to Chet all season.
Yeah.
And it was Vasa making that pass,
Yep.
it just fit it right in it was such beautiful, beautiful basketball.
There was a pick and roll Shea had, I think it was in the first or second quarter with Chet, and both defenders followed Shea, and Shea had to like reach around both defenders on the baseline and drop it off backwards to Chet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chet got an and one finish on that.
Yep.
But that was like, okay, cool. They're like Chet's getting better at like his positioning on rolls. Everyone's getting better at understanding where Chet is and where he's supposed to be. And I think that's one of the really big things with Chet that's going to just keep getting better too, is that pick and roll action. Pick and pop, it's like, yeah, that's easy. They know what's going to happen.
Chet, I'm trying to think about how to talk about his game.
Yeah.
Because it just feels what Chet hasn't done a ton other than a few games is these complete and utter takeovers.
Yeah.
To where it just stands out in like a dramatic way.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, what you see with him every single game is just consistency.
Yeah.
The effort is always there.
Yeah.
He's in the right position. Like even the Spurs game where it was kind of a letdown between him and Wemby. Like Chet just missed shots.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he was defended any better. Like there were a few where he was down low and it made it more difficult because Wemby's such an elite shot blocker. But
yeah.
But he missed. He's kind of been on a little bit, it feels like, of a downward trend on the 3-point shot. But he just plays so well within the game that he doesn't stick out in the way that you know, like the flashy parts all the time.
Well,
but man, it's impressive.
If you remember that in Summer League, that first year, it was very flashy, right? It was like Chet takes the ball, crossover, pull up, mid-range jumper, or turnaround jumpers. It was like very isolation. You could see the skill. You could see what he's able to do with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
And that is, you got a little bit of that last night again, too. And I think you're going to get more of that as just the game, the total game feels more comfortable to him. Yesterday, he had a turnaround jump shot that I was like, okay, cool. That's something right
Who
there.
can do, like very few people can do that at his size.
Yeah.
He's special, man. And it's not like and I don't want to detract by anything what I'm saying. And I'm hoping it kind of comes out and makes sense, but it's just really an affirmation more of the fact that he is not looking for his as much as somebody of his value and hype would.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is perfectly content playing the role that they're asking him to play.
Well, and it helps if you're that guy and there's so many guys on your team that are so good and capable.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, when does he ever feel the pressure like, oh, I need to take over right now? You see that from Giddey sometimes this season. You've seen him be like, okay, I think I need to do this.
Yeah.
I need to step. And Chet, you never feel that way. It's like,
And you
Always
kind
look
of
at
sometimes wish you would.
Yeah.
Like that Warriors game here in Oklahoma City that they lost on that last second,
Mhm.
goaltend kind of
Mhm.
moment is Chet had 22 or something at the first half and then kind of faded to the background. Now, to be fair, Giddy and J-Dub in that game had to force themselves back into rhythm because they were off and they
Right.
really helped in the third quarter. But there were definitely moments in the fourth quarter where Chet should have been like leading the offensive charge.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm.
And you may already know this, Andrew, and Taylor, you may as well. But what is Cason Wallace shooting from the 3-point line at this point?
Is
12
it
games in the season.
Is it up to 60%?
You got to guess?
Yeah, it's got to be like 60%.
59.1%.
Yeah.
That's the thing I was going to mention earlier when we were talking about Kaysen is he doesn't feel like a rookie because every opportunity he has to make a play or take the right shot or whatever, he always does the right thing and he doesn't mess up.
His effective field goal percentage is
I was gonna say,
75.4%.
it's something dumb. I mean, it's going to regress. He's going to have some games where he misses shots, but
how does he
been
not
incredible.
make a bad decision?
It's wild. He doesn't make bad decisions, and the reason I think his shooting is what it is he takes almost the perfect shot every single
easy
time.
Right,
open
yeah.
shots generated by great players
Well,
around him.
And some of those makes aren't easy. They're very physical under the basket. He had a really physical up and not up and under, but reverse layup last night.
Reverse layup. He had the running layup too. That's not an easy shot where he's going pretty fast. That one's not. That was
the one where the really fast one off the backboard. And the angle was really weird.
I was like, that's a miss.
Yeah,
Oh,
I thought so too. Yeah,
Yes.
I was shocked when it went in. Yeah, he's so good. Like back to Chet, like I just think that it speaks to like his basketball IQ that he is willing to fit in with this group. Because I think that those guys can look around and say, this team can be really good if we do the right things, if we're able to sacrifice like just enough for everybody. And at this young age, like they're all willing to do that. And the hope is that they're willing to do that, through the beginning of like their primes, like willing to sacrifice enough to just win basketball games. And like that's why they're 8-4 right now. It's because there is like a willingness to sacrifice. Somebody of Chet's level, like, I'm the number 2 pick. I should be the number 2 option. Give me the ball. I'm going to take shots. Let me operate at the nail. Let me do all these things. And he doesn't do that. And that to me just speaks to like how intelligent he is. And like just the way the Thunder operate. I think I give a lot of credit to Mark for this. It's like they just simply don't care about the way that other people think about how they should run their team. Because I mean, what did we hear all off season when people talked about Chet? Well, I just don't know if he could be a full-time center. I just don't know if that's the right thing to do, if you should want to. Look what the Spurs are going to do with Wemby. Like they've already announced that they're going to start Zach Collins next to him. That's a good move.
Well, Kevin Pelton, like I don't know if you listen. I know you didn't, Andrew, yet, but Kevin Pelton and Zach Lowe talked 3 minutes on the Thunder, and Zach Lowe, both of them were like, we underestimated how many wins this team was going to get. And I know Kevin Pelton's whole, algorithm that he creates to do this. He said the thing that I didn't take into account is that they were going to commit to Chet long term as the center.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you weren't paying attention.
Then you didn't listen to Down to Dunk.
So let me,
JP.
I'm not trying to jump all over the place, but I just came across a stat that I was
look at the roster. Who's playing center then?
I think they thought that they would have Jay Will and Chet on the floor.
I think they genuinely thought Jay Will would. Okay. But
not taking into account, it's like at that point, you're leaving either Giddy, J-Dub, Dort, or Shea off the floor.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, the Thunder have, like, all along not really cared about.
No, it's awesome.
Like, from the beginning of the rebuild, it was like, oh my gosh, they have too many picks. And, like, the whole time, like, no, we don't have enough. We're going to keep doing this more, where we have more picks in the future. Didn't care. Haven't really even used all that many of them. I still have a ton. They remember when they were drafting, like they drafted Giddy, and then it was like they drafted J-Dub and Jang, and it was like they're drafting too many ball handlers. Like there's just too many. Like what are we going to do here with all these ball handlers? And now we're actually seeing it, and we're like, oh,
yeah.
Like everybody sees it, like, okay, there's just probably not too many. This is probably
it's like, I think more basketball teams should have 5 players that can handle the basketball.
Yeah,
on the
this is
court.
probably was just right.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get another one, and
Maybe
they
we
took
could-
another one in the draft in case
Yeah.
of Wallace. And you're like, oh, this is pretty good. That's a pretty good job,
Yeah.
And now, like the whole thing is like, oh, the rebounding, this, and the Thunder, lost the rebounding battle last night, but they won the game by almost 20 points.
Well, and the effort on rebounding was different last night. You can tell they're trying different things. Like Chet was running in because Chet gets stuck on the outside a lot or stuck behind
Yeah,
his guy.
yeah, it's true. He can still get pushed around a little bit.
He
but-
can, but he was really trying to like move around and run back into the rim and get the rebound last
Mhm.
night.
Mhm.
Well, the other thing he's doing, he's not shying away from it.
Yeah.
I'll take that over. Like he's going to physically get beat by guys. That's just the inevitability of his career. But
Maybe
I don't know,
not
man.
his whole career.
He was posting up on people and trying to take advantage of mismatches, which some of it's like Chris Paul, who basically is like a lead block when somebody tries to post up against him. But
Yeah, he's really good.
he's just, I don't know, man. Chad
Well,
has been
and he's
so,
probably putting a thumb in your butt the whole time too. Or
Probably.
Gosh, yeah, probably.
So here's what I just found, this statistic that I think is ridiculous. All right, so we just talked about how Cason Wallace is 59.1% from the 3-point line. I think we could pretty clearly say that a majority of those are from the corner. Can you tell me what he is shooting from the corners on threes?
Oh no, 75%.
Over under
Over.
80%. 80% for corners.
How many?
No, it's
corner
like
shots did you see?
I shut that down, but I didn't need context. I just thought the number was awesome.
It just gives percentage.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
just
okay.
gives percentage. Sorry.
Your percentage of their threes.
Still
But-
trying to learn how to use the internet.
But it's crazy.
It's new.
First time.
Still new.
So Kevin Pelton and Bobby Marks did a rookie ranking on ESPN.com.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think they ranked Chet and Cason in their rookie rankings?
Am I going to be mad or happy?
You know what? I'm not even going to tell you about emotions, Jay. I'm just going to let you guess.
If Chet isn't 2, then throw the whole thing in the trash.
I think they put
He
Chet
actually
at
should be
2.
1,
He
but it's
should be
fine.
1. Right now in the season, he should be 1.
They both ranked Chet number 1.
Okay.
I would say Cason 4.
Cason for Pelton is 6th behind Wembanyama, Asar Thompson, Marcus Sasser, and Derek Lively.
Yeah.
And then he's 5th with Derek Lively and Cason switching spots for
Bobby.
For Bobby.
For Bobby.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
amazing. And last year we had the second best rookie in the league. That's someone we haven't talked about at all, by the way, is J-Dub.
He's been
Who-
perfectly
really
great.
good.
Who I was thinking about while we were talking about, these guys that don't really care about getting theirs, even though they're definitely capable and able. Sorry, camera went off. Is J-Dub is probably the second best guy behind Shea at like creating a shot and just making things happen. And like he could ISO every game, or he could run a pick and roll every play if he wanted to and be successful.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that he's also falling in line with that same mentality as everyone else.
Yes, you're totally right. And
he had 30 points the other night on like, how many shots was it? It wasn't
It was
that many.
Something absurd.
Yeah.
He's really good. I mean, he
he's
had
so
16
efficient too, talking about efficiency of Cason Wallace.
Yeah. I mean, he could have his own team. Like he would be the best player on the Wizards right now.
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
11 of 16. It was against the Suns. 11 of 16
Mhm.
from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 30,
Excellent.
31 points. He is special. And what you see most nights with this team, and that's why the Sacramento game was so odd, is if somebody doesn't have it, somebody else will.
Yeah.
In almost every other game.
Yep.
And the Kings, it was like it felt like nobody could get a rhythm going, and it just was bad from the start, and they could never really figure it all out. But there was moments last night where it's like in that second and third quarter where Shea was forcing some stuff and wasn't getting calls, and a lot of misses, a lot of ugly misses. And then you have J-Dub who just steps up and knocks down a simple jump shot to kind of
Mhm.
steady the offense. And he also is an elite at the basket, and he's getting really good at those kind of scoop layups that go kind of what Shea does a lot,
Mhm.
where it's the right angle on the backboard to go perfectly in.
They reach so far, by the way, like Shea and J-Dub, when they do that scoop layup, it's like, how did your arm get that far in front of the defender that's in front of you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Both of them, and part of it is just the benefit of having kind of two guys that are great ball handlers, can finish, that are also really long.
Yeah.
Like J-Dub, his wingspan is, I mean, he's over 7 foot wingspan, right? And I think Shea's close.
Yeah, they both are.
And so both of them have this ability to finish. It's just, if you're not like over the top hyped about this team, maybe it's not this year where it gets fully actualized. Like, the likelihood is it's not. I think it's still fair to say 50 wins is very much more of a possibility than it was.
So let's do something ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Let's pretend that this team is a contending team now. Let's say it's 2 years from now. Okay. How many players on this roster right now are like whole kind of complete players that would be on a contending team? Shea,
The whole starting five.
the whole starting five.
Whole starting five for sure.
Isaiah Joe,
Yep.
Joe's really good.
Cason Wallace,
Casey Wallace.
And Kenrich for sure.
Kenrich.
And probably Vasa. I
don't
think
know.
Vasa.
That's the one.
I think Vasa gets minutes on most every other team.
He definitely could because he can shoot and he can pass.
Wiggs too. I mean, maybe I'm just being stupid about that one, but how many of those old Thunder teams would you have killed to have? You think about this one?
I don't know that I would have killed anybody.
Not anybody?
Come on, you wouldn't have killed one person.
Okay, all right, fine.
Just
It's
one.
a bad
Just
person.
one.
It's a bad person that's also killed somebody.
Okay, fine.
No, I'm thinking about like, would Wiggs? What would Wiggs' minutes be on the Bucks this year?
He would play for the Bucks.
Oh, that's a good team to bring up.
yeah, really shallow team, but he definitely would play.
What about Wiggs on the Suns?
I mean, Wiggs would be the second best player on this.
Or Wiggs on? I mean, this, you can go down the list.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's going to get minutes on almost all of those teams, and maybe more than he's even getting for the Thunder.
Wiggins is a lot more talented than we even get to see too.
Yeah.
Like some of the shots and stuff he's finishing he had a 3 in the Spurs game that was like 4 feet behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, he can shoot it.
Like you don't see it that often from him.
Yeah, he also had a shot. I'm trying to remember what game it was, where it was like into the shot clock. He had the ball like almost in the corner, and then just like spin move, step back 3, where it was like, is that Paul George or was that Aaron Wiggins? Like, what's going on here?
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's got like the talent on this team is crazy. And think about this: they're still likely to get a lottery pick in this draft.
Wow.
Probably
I mean,
the Clippers top 3 pick.
could be the first pick in the draft from the Clippers, guys. Could be the first pick in the draft.
Who
Yeah.
are the top 3 guys kind of in this year's draft class so far?
I mean,
Nobody knows.
Ron
right now,
Holland
but
is the guy that everybody talks about as.
Ron McDonald.
And then
That's the
Sarr's
one.
brother is up there too, right?
Yeah, he's one of. I mean, depending on who you ask, he's like in the top like 5-ish. But honestly, nobody knows yet. There's a lot. I mean, the G League is just starting, and college basketball is just starting. Somebody's going to emerge as good, but like right now, it's like, man, this class kind of stinks.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there'll be somebody.
Right.
And honestly, like there are some good role players in this draft. And like that's what the Thunder need. The Thunder don't need, and typically at the top of the draft, what you need is somebody that can do what Shea and Chet and J-Dub and Giddey can do for a team. The Thunder are in such a unique position where they can just show up to the draft and say, hey, we have, and they're going to learn throughout this season, what are the needs of the team? And how can we fill it? I honestly still think they need like a big 3-4 that can defend and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if like that guy exists in this draft. There's guys that theoretically fit that mold, but maybe somebody emerges and it's like, oh yeah, that guy's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you get somebody in that can kind of compete with Jang for minutes. And then it's like, may the best man win from those two. So it's, I think it's too early to really evaluate any of the draft stuff and obviously draft positioning, but they're going to get another good pick in this draft. And it's really exciting because, I mean, this team, they're not done building. They have all the assets to go get whatever they want. Even if this were just the team, like if you just said, okay, now it stops, somehow like all the picks have expired, like this is it. I think you just feel really good
Yeah.
about like the direction of the team, just because there's so much room for growth for guys like Case and Wallace. And I mean, J-Dub is only in his second year. Like, he is going to be so good.
I think of him as like kind of one of the vets on the team too, just how he plays. Like, he just plays so comfortably.
He just started year 2. Chet has only played 12 games in his career.
Yeah, I kind of like can't understand how good this team can continue to get this year.
And I don't want to like pretend that I think like this is definitely going to happen, but like there is a chance that this roster overall exceeds what the roster did in like the early 2010s, just because I think that they're more solid throughout, and they have more. I think like the first go around, it was, we obviously have to take Kevin Durant. We obviously and then you got to the Russ draft and it was like, oh, like, I don't know, like they drafted the right guy, obviously. But like, if you were drafting a team for Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook and he were awesome together, but there were just times where it just didn't like totally fit, but their talent was so overwhelming. And then you bring in James Harden, as like the talent was so overwhelming. It's almost like the Pistons have kind of built their roster, where it's just like, let's just build for, like, just get the best players in here and we'll figure it out. This team is just built so differently. It's like there's intentionality with every pick with how they could fit together. And there's a style, a predetermined style of play that was established when they wanted to rebuild the team. No, we're going to build the team with passers. We're going to rebuild the team with high basketball IQ. And it's just so evident that, one, these guys can fit and play together really fast. And two, their talent level is so much higher than what we thought when they were drafted. More than what anybody thought, honestly, outside of Chet. Everybody believed in Chet, but you have like Shea emerging as an All-NBA player is like one of the like things that like really helps this along. But then J-Dub and Giddey being as good as they are, and then I think Case and Wallace too is going to be really good. Well, I mean, it's absurd to even think that they could be better than that, but I think holistically they could be.
And that intention and decision making, it also goes into who they chose to be the head coach of this team.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like maybe the biggest part. It's like, okay, you can draft all these players, but like, if you just went out and got your typical NBA coach, it may not have worked like this.
Yeah, and Mark is a developmental story in himself. We talk about like the development of some of these guys, but the fact that you like brought this guy in, developed him with the Blue, saw the potential, brought him onto the staff, and then promoted him to head coach. And essentially because he's like just is all about development only. And now he's like really aligned with the front office in the way that he coaches. And not that the other guys that have coached with this team weren't, but I think that he's more aligned with the front office than other coaches have been. It really understands like process over like results, and like doesn't seem to really get all that rattled, and makes decisions based on what he thinks is best for the team long term and not necessarily best in the moment. I mean, I think Mark could be really special too. And he's a part of like why all of this is working.
Totally.
And so it's just really cool to see it unfold in front of us.
And like what we're talking about with all these players having opportunity, and they're also skilled, and there's 4 players that could run their own team. If you don't have a coach that can figure out how to make sure all 4 of those players can play off each other, and like if the X's and O's aren't there, if the talks in the locker room and the decisions for how we're going to play
and the egos are kept in check a little bit, which is also a role of the coach.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the culture is kind of set from the top down.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also something like they've really vetted these guys on like what their personalities are like, and can they exist in like this Thunder ecosystem? And like they're all really good guys, and so I mean that all helps. And things will change as time goes on. Like these guys are going to make a lot more money. They're going to have a lot more fame. They're going to have more people around them, and it's not the trouble is not necessarily like even like the way that they're playing or like that they're not getting enough shine. It's the people around them that are going to say, hey, like you should have your own team.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people want to talk about like James Harden back in the day before he was traded from the Thunder. But I can imagine that the biggest thing was like the people in his ear saying, hey, James, not only should you have a max contract, but you could do this. You see what Russell's doing? Like you could do that, but probably better. See what Kevin's doing? You could be that. Why wouldn't you want that? Like, don't you want that? And you know, like that was probably the right thing for James. But like keeping all of that, holding that all together is really tough. And the Thunder, like we're in like the gravy zone. This is like the fun. This is the fun part. This is the part that like we should like stop and say like we should enjoy this because this is the best part of being a fan. Like when the expectations are low and you're exceeding them and you're starting to gain all this steam. Because there will come a time where things aren't so rosy for the Thunder. Like that will happen because it happens to everybody. So just like we just need to remember to enjoy like this part where it's like this is the 2010 season for the Thunder when it was like, oh, like these guys are great. Like this is really fun. Like they're growing. Like they're gonna win 7 championships. Who knows? You know, like this is where we're at right now in like the life cycle of the team, and they're really good and they're exceeding expectations right now. And they also have like a great opportunity in front of them because they play Golden State again. Let's see, Gary Payton II left the game with a pretty bad ankle sprain and is going to. He's in a boot, so like,
really?
He's not going to play Saturday. Curry could play Saturday, but we don't know that yet. Then they play Portland on Sunday. Like they just need to go take care of business against Portland. And then they play Chicago at home next Wednesday. So they have kind of a spaced out schedule. There's not a lot of travel, even though they are away. Like they get to stay in San Francisco.
Yeah, and then just take a hour flight from San Francisco to Portland.
Yep. And then they come home and then they're home for a few days. And then they play Chicago. Like they need to take care of business against those teams. And then the schedule gets tougher and you get to kind of really figure out what you got there against Philly on the following Saturday. But it's really exciting. Like this is such an exciting time to be a Thunder fan. And it's just cool to see them doing it on their own terms. You know, you see, because like you look at Houston and like what Houston's been really good. And like you have to give them a lot of credit. But they didn't necessarily do it on their own. They didn't necessarily do this on their own terms. Like they're not doing it with the guys they drafted.
No. They went and got Fred. They hired a new coach. That was not some developmental coach.
Yeah, I mean, this would not be the way you would map out how you rebuild. It's like, I mean, they hit the eject button, you know, and I don't necessarily think it's the best thing for them long term because you're taking possessions away from these young guys that really need them at this point. And so it's fine. It's cool, but it's what it is. It's cool to see the Thunder kind of doing things their own way this whole time and doing it on their own terms. It's just cool to see. Okay, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do Tayshawn's and some Twitter questions.
Just go to Twitter questions. My Tayshawn's stupid.
And we're back after that quick break. We're not going to do Tayshawn's because Taylor said, quote, my Tayshawn's is stupid. And so we'll do some Twitter.
Wait, hit me with the Jimmy.
Hit me with a Jimmy. Nope.
Jimmy.
There we go.
Tayshawn's.
Nope.
Twitter questions. Should it do? You got questions and you ask them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Let's get down to it.
Hey, can I give a quick shout out to, and I'm going to mess up his last name, but it's Tyler. I want to say Rybart, but it's probably Rebert
Yeah.
or Rybert.
Yeah.
These, if you're watching us on YouTube, we've got these little down to dunk coasters, man. He made
Yeah.
like 6 of them for us.
They're awesome.
And they're heavy. They kind of remind me of a Pog Slammer.
Yeah.
We're
Like
all Pog people.
a giant Pog
This
Slammer.
thing would destroy. But anyway, they're tight little coasters that we've been using to put our drinks on.
Could be a weapon too.
Could be you throw it. You could hit somebody with this and do some damage.
Oh, you could sneak up and do some damage.
You could
no
sneak
doubt.
up and do a lot of damage.
So anyway,
there's no doubt about that.
Huge shout out, Tyler. Thank you, brother.
Shout out. It's great seeing you. Let's do some Twitter questions. Our first Twitter question comes from at Johnny Ho 34. Who was that down to dunk night? Shout out to John.
Johnny Ho.
He says, very important question. Are the sweatshirts that Andrew K. Schlecht and family wearing at DTD night available for purchase? I need to populate my Christmas list.
All right, we'll do it. We'll put them up.
All
I'll do
right.
it today.
$65.
$65.
$78 at leak 7611. How confident are you in us getting 50 wins this year?
Very.
I'm more confident than I was.
You're a pessimist.
I still am a little pessimistic.
You're trying to be the counter, like, you know, like, oh, I'm going to be the guy that keeps putting them down. So
He's
that
trying to be respectable and not a homer, but you look like a freaking dingus right now. This team is going to get 60 wins.
Yeah.
No, it's just being reasonable, and that's just not my way of following this team.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a little, it'll be a little disappointing if they didn't at least get around like 48 to 50-ish wins from here. Because they will have to lose a lot of games.
Yeah.
To get there. To get to like 44 or whatever. So yeah, I told Joe Masato picked them to win 42.
Oh, come on, Joe.
I told Joe he needed to issue an apology.
It's
for
ridiculous.
that.
Where's he going to do that?
Where's he going to do it?
Yeah, apologize.
I think
in front of Four Seasons Landscaping.
Yeah. Wow.
That's good.
Wow, that was quick too. Good job. Okay, at the bomb 520972. How do you see Giddey and J-Dub's roles evolve as Chet becomes more of a part of the offense? It's a great question because, it will have to happen. Because I do think that Chet I think Chet is the second best player on the team. And I think Chet will emerge as like the second most important offensive player on the team. And there needs to be sacrifice that happens in order for that to be something that occurs. But I do think that there is also an interesting balance that can happen from night to night where it's like J-Dub's going to get the most shots tonight or the second most shots tonight. I think it's always going to be Shea. Like Shea is like the engine of what they do. But I think you can kind of like pick and choose based on matchups, what these guys are how these guys are going to perform. And so, it's kind of cool, but I do think that there's going to need to be like some sacrifice for this to work.
My stomach is rumbling so loud. The mics aren't picking it up, but it's a
really.
Are you hungry?
Like, it is. Like
It's kind of constant.
angry.
It's like.
Do I need to go get you a granola bar or something?
I don't know. I'll just eat my own face.
Wow.
It's.
I was like, man, I
wish
don't know
the
what
microphones could pick it up. Like it is like screaming at it.
I was
They're
like,
like
what?
5
I was like, what am I
seconds.
saying that is so funny? It's your stomach.
You're hilarious, man.
Your run-of-the-mill analysis is so funny. At talking_thunder, if Chet had played last year, would he have won Rookie of the Year? I think if he plays like this, he probably would have, because Paolo was really inefficient, but like put up the numbers. But I think all the love that went to Walker Kessler last year for like his efficiency and all his plus minus and all the advanced numbers, like I don't think that he would have gotten all that love. I think it would all gone to Chet.
I haven't heard much about him this year. How's he
You know
doing?
what? I don't know. Dweebs. All you dweebs
Seriously.
out there. You guys can hear
That's
me.
not how Walker's doing. Dweebs.
I haven't heard his name once on a podcast
I don't even
this year.
think about the Jazz anymore.
Yeah,
Like, I don't even consider them an NBA team right now.
Yeah, the Jazz stink, but they kind of need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're one of those franchises where if they don't have a star player that's like putting up highlight plays, I don't even think of them.
Yeah, it's true. At James Timberlake,
Justin's brother.
Justin's brother, cousin actually.
Oh.
If you hypothetically place Isaiah Joe on any of the KD Russ teams, what did the Thunder look like today?
Oh my God. 2 championships.
2 championships. KD and Russ are still here. We're playing in year 16 with the duo,
Mm-hmm.
all because of Isaiah Joe. Actually, Isaiah Joe would have been too young.
Yeah, he'd been like 10.
So, sorry. At
Hate
Zach,
to burst your bubble.
at Zach_Diesel. At what point is Casey Wallace a sample size big enough to give him
I don't
some
know.
real kudos?
He's getting kudos from us, and
Yeah.
apparently
Oh, we're
both
giving
Kevin
him
Pelton and
kudos.
Bobby Marks. He's getting him kudos.
Did you guys ever eat the kudos bars?
I've had one,
They're good.
maybe 2.
They're good.
They don't even exist anymore. I
I
don't
have
think.
no
I
idea
think
what you're
so.
talking. I don't even know what you're talking
They're
about.
like actual like.
They're from when Isaiah
granola
Joe
bars.
was a baby. I don't think they exist anymore.
I don't think they do either. Here's what happened to the kudos bars is the first
We're going
thing.
to spend the next 5 minutes
Let's
reading
deep
this article
dive
about kudos.
into
Kudos.
the real reason kudos disappeared. They were good.
Murder.
They must have been really bad for you. Okay, Case and Wallace.
Yeah, it's basically a candy bar.
Yeah, they were a candy bar. They were delicious. So Case and
Hidden like a granola bar.
yeah,
I used to drink.
it was a trick.
That was back in the day when like Slim Fast were just like
Sugar.
chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate
shakes.
milk.
Yeah,
It's great.
that was good.
You drink Slim Fast?
Well, my mom always had them in the fridge growing up. So
Oh, really?
and they tasted so good.
They were so good.
That's how I got
Drink.
started on diet soda. Is we would go to camp, and since all of the leaders were like older people, they would just bring diet sodas,
Yeah.
and there was like
Yeah.
always just 2 days in, you wanted a soda, and you went in, and it was exclusively Diet Coke
Yeah.
or Diet Dr Pepper.
Healthy.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you're like, well, I guess I'll try this. Next thing I know, hooked.
Yeah.
Now I just drink 0 sugars,
Yeah,
DPZ or Coke Zero. That's it.
Dude,
Get everything
they're
else.
both so
and punt
good.
it to the moon.
they're
Yeah.
both so good.
Dr Pepper Zero is the greatest soda that's ever been made.
It's
in my
amazing.
opinion.
Yeah,
Wow.
I would agree.
It's a hot take, but
No, it's not.
yeah,
it's
it's a
good.
perfect take.
It's really good. So Casey Wallace has taken 59 total shots in his career. He's hitting 64% of them.
That's like a lot of shots.
13 of 22 from 3, 59%. Still, he's only taken 8 free throws. He hasn't missed one yet. I mean, here's the thing.
He's going for the very rare 60 60 100.
100.
He's currently in the 64 50 100 club. I mean, that's going to go down, but the thing is, I think it's safe to say like he's a shooter, and he's going to be a really valuable
Gosh, he's
member
it's
of the team.
Perfect. It's perfect. And the
So-
fact that you don't have to think about is he going to be Dort's replacement? It's like actually they play really well together.
They play great together. And Dort, like shout out to Dort, he's been awesome, and he's taken a lesser role in offense, and he continues to be just a monster defensively.
And
He's
that's
been great.
Going back to some of those conversations we had, is Dort is a tremendous tone setter for the way this team will keep their attitude in check.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Dort's
that's
great.
the same reason you keep a Kenrich around. It's the same
Yeah.
reason, like there's a lot of those things that
Yeah.
I don't know. Dort's making a lot of money
I love Dort.
and he's got a great attitude, works hard. It's awesome.
Yeah.
This team is guys, if you're missing it because Bally sucks, I get it. But these are the good old days of this new roster.
It's
Mhm.
true. Yeah.
And it may be a 3 to 4 year window when things feel this awesome,
Yep.
but man,
You never know.
jump on right now.
Come on.
Jump on.
At Bangelope, what's the thing you're looking forward to eating the most?
Vangelipi.
At Thanksgiving?
At Thanksgiving.
I feel like I've missed the Thanksgiving pods for a while
Yeah.
because I haven't got to have these conversations.
Yeah. Next week is Thanksgiving.
Green bean casserole. No doubt.
I like a candied yam.
What's the difference between candied yam and sweet potatoes?
I don't know, brother.
know, brother.
I don't know, brother.
Not sure, brother. 'Cause I love a sweet potato casserole.
If you gave me both, I wouldn't know, and they'd both be
Yeah.
great.
We
and
started
good.
last year this at our church. We started doing a Thanksgiving potluck dinner
Yeah.
like the week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And people have lost their mind for it. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
And they bring, I mean, there are 1,000 sides and 1,000 desserts. And, you know, I wait till the end because I'm constantly terrified we're going to run out of food. And, but we don't. And had some great sweet potato casserole the other day, but also stuffing. You can't go. And here's my deal. And this is something that's telling about me is don't pretty up any of that crap.
No,
Like,
you're right.
I'll take stovetop. I'll take basic stuff all across the board.
Yeah.
Turkey, need turkey. It's good.
Yeah. You got a smoked turkey?
Nope. I know you've been championing the smoked turkey for a decade.
Greenberg.
Still?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
they burn down a couple years
They
ago?
did, but they're back.
They're back,
They
baby.
burned down during the pandemic, which is just like it was just like, is the world ending? Like, what's happening here?
When Greenberg burned down, it's
It must have
do you, already
smelled
do you have it on
delicious.
campus? Like you have it on in your house? Is it here?
It's not on campus yet.
on campus.
Love it.
Thanksgiving is the best. Okay. I'm
Okay.
not a huge turkey guy,
Okay.
but as far as all the sides and everything else goes, it's the best holiday. I will just eat all the sides.
That's what my wife does.
I love it. Rolls.
That's what my
stuffing,
wife
gravy.
does.
My wife.
She does it.
She does all the sides. My wife likes sides.
She's also been championing for us to like go a totally different direction. She said if it's Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
and it's for me to enjoy the foods that I like, let's do like a fajitas and chips and dips.
You can do it the day before.
You can
What
do
I
that.
always-
I was gonna say you do
Thanksgiving.
that like everybody does it like every Friday. So
Yeah.
It's not what I do every Friday. Fajita Friday?
Yeah.
Is that what you do here?
no,
Oh,
but we
man.
should.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. It
Yeah.
also is alliteration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun Fajita Friday.
Fun for you Friday.
Triple F's.
At Pepsi United, who on the Thunder deserves more playing time than he has gotten so far?
Nobody. I think the rotation's awesome right now.
It's not one.
Man.
Poku,
Shout out to Poku, but no.
There's no one not playing that I miss.
and they're
yeah.
also giving, like last night, Jay Will, who's plays a lot, doesn't get a lot of minutes because the matchup, they went with Dario Saric to start, brought Kevon Looney off the bench, or at least in the second half. And so that's why he was also quicker to pull Chet and put Kenrich in at the,
Mhm.
basically to run small ball 5 because they didn't need it. And there'll be
Mhm.
games where Jay Will is more needed. And, you know, it's like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Next Twitter question comes from at Kellen World Peace. The Thunder not only have the best young core, but they are quickly climbing the power rankings in the league fits department. Would you rather send J-Dub or Giddy to be on Throwing Fits podcast to rep the squad?
Is that like outfits?
Yep.
I would go J-Dub. What's kind of fun about being on the court, the camera's gone. What's fun about being on the court at the end of the game, like we were on Tuesday night, is you get to see a lot of the players come out of the locker room and kind of meet up with their people and different things like that. And J-Dub had a wild looking outfit on, and Shea had that jacket. And I don't know if you may have mentioned this on Wednesday night you did, where Shea couldn't raise his arms to shoot, but because of
Trying to
the
get him to take a half-court
the
shot.
jacket. And then Old Man River, you know, the
He's doing his
Thunder,
job.
the son of Santa Claus was.
He did great. He did a great
He
job.
was doing his job, but
did a
like you
great
should
job.
know who Andrew Schlecht is all I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
He did a great
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
He did a great
Do you know who that is, Santa?
How dare you? He's talking to Nick Gallo right now.
He's talking to Nick.
You know who gave him a shout out is the dude that I can never remember his name when I need to. That is the PR guru for the Thunder. His name is Matt Tumbleson.
Yeah.
He directly looked at you and did this. I thought he was going to come over and talk to you, but instead he just walked off.
He just walked away. Hey, shout out to Sarika
crazy?
Crosland before we get to. Are you okay? Shout out to
Are you dying?
Sarika Crosland, who won the half-court shot contest. We brought this up Wednesday, but I wanted to say her name on the show.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
It's incredible.
Unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure in year 2 she also hit the rim and was really close.
Yeah, she did. She was close. She was really close.
If you're not on YouTube, one more reason to subscribe is to watch Taylor. And
Taylor is
pain.
in excruciating pain right now. It's really bad. But I cannot believe she won. So just to break it down, she not only hit, she hit the half court shot. There were 3 people that hit the half court shot. One.
Shout out to your buddy,
my buddy Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy Miller. Hit the half court shot.
Good man right there.
It's a good man. It was awesome.
His kids were having so much fun watching him hit that shot.
Yeah, he texted me that his kid afterwards said to him, he's like, "Dad, did you consider, like, after he lost, he's like, Dad, did you consider that the people that got further than you were younger and also better at basketball than you?"
Wow.
Like, yeah, I
He's
knew
like,
that.
Okay, son. Yeah. Anyways, I went and picked him up. I felt like I had like some parent strength that just came out of me. When you can lift a car up off of a child.
We talked about doing that earlier to anybody that won, and then
Yeah.
you actually just did it by yourself.
I just ran and did it, and yeah,
Did you feel okay the next day?
feel great.
Good.
Yeah, I feel awesome. But anyways, shout out to Sri Crossland, who not only hit the half court shot, but then she had to hit. So they went to the knockout round, and she had to hit. So they went NBA 3 next. Sunk an NBA 3, just
Didn't
like
they
it
have
was
to hit
nothing.
another half court shot to get to the NBA 3.
No. Everybody missed, and so then after they missed,
Oh,
they
okay,
went to
that's right,
threes,
that's
and then she and the other guy, which I don't know your name. Shout out to you,
David.
guy. David.
That sounds right.
Shout out to David.
He also, like, you could tell he's a legit basketball player.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
he was. This was like he had
Maybe-
no surprise
maybe
on
like
his
a
face
lower-
whatsoever. After
Lower
he hit
level
the
college
shot.
player, probably.
Yeah, I was like, wow. But then they went to free throws, and they both missed the first one, and then David missed, and you could tell. I mean, it was just like in and out.
Yeah.
And then Sarika stepped up, swish, and she won again. I cannot believe it. The odds are
Never in that favor.
so low that you are the one to win the half court shot contest in general, but then to win it twice, it's
To win it
crazy.
twice.
It's crazy.
You have to beat it's like probably a total of like 500 people that have shot over 3 years.
Oh, it's probably that or more. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. So shout out. All right, guys. Are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
Are you guys miffed and are you guys peeved?
Jay, I know you have one, but getting a cramp like that,
Yeah. What happened?
my leg just started cramping up like crazy.
That
Where
hurts.
at? Hamstring?
Yeah, like right above the knee.
No, that's quad, but
Quad.
fine.
Yeah. I don't know what my muscles are. When people are like, check out my tries, I have no idea what that is. or where
Seriously?
that is. Yeah.
yeah, it's just the effort that they put out.
Yeah.
It's me trying.
What do you mean?
It's check out my
Tries.
tries.
Check out my tries.
TRYS.
Watch me try.
I
Watch me
see.
try. Check out how
My
many times
bad,
I
my
tries. Tries the back of your arm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who cares about that?
Me. It's the only thing I got going for me. It's triceps and calves. I get a lot of cramps in my calves. Not as much anymore, but I used to get them so badly. And I would and always in bed. And I would spring out of bed, like one fail swoop, like out of bed onto my feet, just trying to get that. Like
Oh,
put your,
no.
Yeah,
put
yeah.
your foot down to get it to stop. Cramps are wild, man.
Cramps suck.
Are you okay?
No,
You should drink some water
my
today.
stomach was already like,
Yeah. Your body is like shutting down,
yeah,
I think.
something's wrong.
Yeah. There's
It
something
makes
very
me
wrong.
miffed and peeved for you.
Thanks, man.
I'm miffed and peeved about like something so insignificant. Especially as the weather starts to get cooler and drier and all those
Let's
different things,
go.
I start getting all of these like cracks in my nails.
Yeah. In your nails?
Sorry, my nail beds. Like,
Yeah.
look at that little thing. And for
Oh, that
some reason,
hurts,
it's
yeah.
like the smallest, tiniest little thing.
I've had
yet
those before. It
stings
hurts.
like the dickens.
It does.
So I get
those
this
are-
I had this little Gold Bond,
Yeah.
kind of creme.
Is it working? Creme?
Yeah.
Is it
Creme.
Yeah.
You
a light?
squeeze it in your mouth
you
and
eat
it
it,
heals your
yeah.
wounds.
Is it a light blue colored
No,
one?
it's a little yellow one.
Little
And
yellow
you just
one.
squeeze it in there and you just come.
And it helps.
You want to know
Helps
something weird
feel
about
better.
me?
Yeah, always.
I like that kind of pain, and I do it to myself. Check that out.
You do it to yourself. That's
I usually
that's
like-
psycho.
Yeah,
dude.
that is.
Yeah,
psycho
if I
behavior.
run out of nails to pick, I just start picking the skin.
Everything
around.
about you this morning kind
Wow.
of bothers me.
Yeah,
right
there's something weird about you
now. My
today.
stomach's been
I
grumbling for.
understand.
30 Speaking of
straight months.
weird,
I understand.
you can't buy Slob Wizard shirts anymore, but there will be a significant amount of Slob Wizard shirts floating around out there.
A lot of Slob Wizard shirts.
So very
it's about to get
excited.
slobbery.
I cannot wait to wear it. We should all wear ours at the same time on the FriPod once we get
Yeah, we will do that. And
Slob
then
Fridays.
Yeah, Slob Fridays.
Yeah, working hands cream at noon. And that's probably a good call.
Yeah.
Also, have we solidified any details about we are going to have a watch party in I think January.
January.
And so that'll be a night where
I think we're having a couple, honestly.
perfect. That'll be a night where all of the Slob Wizards can come out.
Yeah, we should have a Slob Wizard watch party.
Yep.
We should.
That the admission to the event is a Slob Wizard shirt.
Yep.
And if you don't have one,
Or tattoo.
go home.
You can go get it tattooed.
You have to get it tattooed though,
In the exact design
as
the
it
shirt
would
is.
look on the t-shirt on your chest.
That's awesome.
So
And the beard has to be actual hair.
agreed. All right. Thanks so much for listening. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Enjoy the Thunder basketball. We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.